Okay. A very good morning to all of you. Mm. A very warm welcome. Let's start. The topic for today's discussion is water conservation, rainwater harvesting, and watershed management. Along with this, we will also talk about few other very important topics like acid rain, global warming, and ozone layer depletion. All these topics are extremely important and very, very interesting. You will get 5-mark questions as well as 2-mark questions from these portions. So please be very attentive and listen to what I say. Okay, so let's first talk about this. Water conservation is the practice of using water efficiently to reduce unnecessary water usage. See, water is something that is indispensable for life. I hope you all understand that. Without water, we can't live, right? Without water, life is impossible on earth. That is the reason why water is so important for life. We cannot survive without water. According to Fresh Water Watch, water conservation is important because fresh, clean water is limited resource. See, the water that we get around us, the water that we get to drink, get to use, is fresh water. We don't drink the saline seawater, right? That is unfit for drinking because of its salt content. There are a lot of water resources that gives us hard water. It contains a lot of minerals in that. So that water is unfit for consumption and uses. Consumption doesn't always mean it is unfit for the drinking, but it also means it's unfit for using also. Okay. So conservation of water is extremely important. Resource is limited, so we should keep in mind that whatever we are whatever we are doing should not go waste. Hmm? Right. So as a homeowner, you're probably already aware of the financial cost of inefficient water use. So, since we are required to pay water tax, we know how costly water can turn out to be. We get everything for free doesn't mean we will waste whatever resources we are getting. As it is becoming, a limited resource day by day, the price is also increasing. So we better be very careful from now onwards while using water. See, so from this point, the question of water conservation crops up. What is this? What is conservation of water or water conservation? This can come for a short question also. Water conservation is the practice of efficiently preserving, controlling, and managing water resources. Very important 3 points. What are they? First is practice of efficient preserving, then controlling, and third is managing water resources. Correct? It is the most practical and environment friendly approach to lessen our need for water. See, if we don't waste something, then it means what? We are conserving that. And when we conserve something or when we save something, we are securing our future in a way. We will not have to run from door to door begging for that particular resource if we store it from now, if we preserve it, if we save it from now on. Hmm. See, using less water puts less weight on our sewage treatment facilities, which use ample energy for heating water. Sewage treatment is nothing but a wastewater management system that is extremely costly, and it also affects the environment in various ways. Now, if we are putting less burden, if we use less water, that means what? We are putting less burden on our system, on our facility providers, and then as a result, what will happen? There will be lesser amount of environment stress. The reasons behind this step is what? Conserving water saves energy, right? Energy is important to filter, heat, and pump water to your home. So, lessening your water use likewise decrease your carbon traces. A lot of carbon emission occurs while accomplishing these things: filtering, heating, pumping, all these things. Now, if you are using lesser amount of water, what will happen? There will be lesser traces of carbon. Consuming less water keeps more in our environments and aids with keeping wetland habitats best for creatures like otters, water voles, herons, and fish. If we are using lesser amount of water, what benefits are we getting? We are not only getting benefits ourselves, but we are also making life easier for aquatic animals. This is particularly significant during dry periods. See, when there is a terrible summer, when there is a lot of heat being generated, what happens? We are safe, we are sitting in AC rooms, we have ready sources of water, we go for a bath, we drink water, we do everything. But but when there is no water in the environment, think of the aquatic animals. When the ponds are drying up, rivers are drying up, lakes are drying up, what is going to happen to those animals which are dependent on water for sustenance of life? That becomes very difficult. Okay, so it is indirectly on us also. If we are using lesser water, lesser amount of water, then what will happen? The stress will be less on these animals. Next, conserving water can save you money. If you have water meter, the less water you use, the less your water company might charge you. Very simple. The lesser water you are using, the lesser you are paying for it. It will save money on your power bills by using less energy to heat and pump water. Delay or prevent expansion of costly water and wastewater treatment plants in your community, which can save money on taxes. Reduce water shortage frequency and impacts, and last is environmental benefits. It will not only give you a lot of benefit like ecological benefit and financial benefit, but it will also give you a lot of environmental benefits also. So to prevent this water wastage, what should you do? This is nothing, it's not a very big task, but its effect is extremely big. You can start from your own self first. Before you preach, you practice yourself. While you are brushing, you need not keep the tap open like this. So from today onwards, let's not waste water like this. When you are brushing, let the water remain there in the tank. Let it not go wasted like this, like the girl is doing. Check your toilet for leak. Stop using your toilet as an ashtray or water basket. Take bath, don't take showers. When you are taking showers, a lot of water is wasted. We don't get to feel that, but a lot of water gets wasted. You take a bath, you take the water in a bucket, use it wisely. Thrifty. You should be thrifty while you are using water. Turn off the water while brushing your teeth and shaving. Take shorter showers. People have the tendency to get into the bathroom and just, spend hours and hours in there. Mama might be shouting, come out, but no, you waste water to your heart's content. That should not be done. That should be avoided. Next, install water shaving shower heads or flow restrictors. Nowadays, there are a lot of advanced devices like you install water shaving showers or water flow restrictors are there. So you can install them. Check faucets and pipes for leakage. Hmm. You should check the taps, that is faucets and pipes. If there is any leakage, you should immediately take care of that. Use your automatic dishwasher for full loads only. If you're using a dishwasher, you should make sure that it is full. Don't put one vessel, one utensil in the dishwasher and start turn it on. It will use that it will use a fixed volume of water which it uses, even if it is full, even if it is half, even if it is empty. So you better take care of these things. Next, you see, this is the average residential indoor water usage chart, just for your observation sake. See, see this region, the amount of water we use, this part, this is the amount of water we use for bathing and showering. Maximum water is used here. Lesser is used for drinking and kitchen work. So consumption should be more. Drinking water should be more to keep ourselves hydrated. That is less, only 10%. Laundry, okay, fine. Toilet use is also okay. Cleaning is, but look at this, 35% of it is used for bathing and showering. Next, conservation in kitchen. Very important point. When you are in the kitchen, you should be very cautious about water use. Okay. Take foods out of the freezer early to allow plenty time to thaw rather than running water over it. There are people who do this, just take out the vegetables and meat or whatever from the refrigerator and pour a lot of water on it to bring it back to room temperature. To avoid this, you can take it out little early, keep it for some time in at room temperature and allow it to thaw, right? If you wash dishes by hand, don't leave the water running for rinsing. Don't let the faucet run while you clean vegetables. Huh? Just rinse them in a stoppered sink or a pan of clean water. Keep cooking fats, oils, and grease out of drain. What will happen if you are keeping all these cooking fats, oils, and grease in the drain? What will happen? The drain will get clogged. Clogging of drain will occur. If the drain is clogged, what will happen? You will have to use plenty of water to clean it. They can stick to and block the inside of pipes, which can lead to sewer backups and basement flooding. Fine. Next is what? Conservation in laundry room. Purchase a high efficiency washing machine. Try to only do laundry when the machine is full. If you need to wash smaller loads, be sure to adjust your washer's water level settings accordingly. Very important. The main motive behind this is use lesser water. Don't waste water. So, our next topic of discussion is what? Rainwater harvesting. Rainwater is something, rainwater is natural. If you can use it, see, rain doesn't give benefits to the environment only. If you are using your brain, if you are using your knowledge, you can harvest this water for future use. See, what is rainwater harvesting? Rainwater harvesting is collection and storage of rainwater that runs off from rooftops, parks, roads, open grounds, etc. This water runoff can be either stored or recharged into the groundwater. Now see, observe this picture very nicely. This is a very beautiful diagrammatic representation of rainwater harvesting. See, this is rain. This is the natural downpour. These are the runoffs which runs off the terrace. This is the gutter where the runoff store. Hmm. This is the gutter where the runoff or the runoff water comes and gets accumulated. If you fit a pipe here, this is your work. If you fit a pipe here, what will happen? See, the water will come down through the pipe. If you put a filter here, whatever dirty, whatever dirt are there, whatever unwanted particles are present over there, that will get filtered here, and you will get a cleaner water in the main tank. You fit a main tank along with the filter. The filtrate or the filtered water will come into the tank. Now this water is fit for usage. You can pump that water out and use it for gardening purpose, car washing, toilet flushing, clothes washing, okay? And the overflow, if there is a lot of water, if there is heavy downpour, there will be huge amount of water in the tank. Then what can you do? You will fit another pipe to it, okay, which will take the overflowing water, that excess water, the overflowing water to the well. If you fit a pipe that will connect the main tank to the well, okay, this connector pipe will carry the extra water or the overflowing water into the well, and from the well it will go to the ground. So you are increasing the source of groundwater also. This is how you are preserving rainwater. You are conserving rainwater, right? See, this is also another very interesting and easy diagrammatic representation. See, this is natural downpour. This is rain. This is natural downpour. What is happening here? This is the gutter, right? As I was telling you just now, this is the gutter. From here, see, you fit a pipeline. You fit a pipe here that will take the water. Here also you fit a pipe that will take the water from the gutter to the water storage tank, and the runoff this is a little more extension. This will take the water into the well. Underground water recharge by percolation. This will take the water to the well, and from here water will percolate underground, and as it is going underground, roots are also being able to absorb water from there. It becomes very easy for the roots also to get more water for their life sustenance. Fine. Next, you see, a rainwater harvesting system consists of the following components. This is important. You must know what are the following components. It should contain catchment from where water is captured and stored or recharged. Next is conveyance system that carries the water harvested from the catchment to the storage recharge zone. Okay, see that there should be something that should capture the water, and there should be some facility or some arrangement that should take that captured water and take it to the storage or recharge zone. Okay, then first flush that is used to flush out the first spell of rain. Next is the filtrating system, filter used to remove pollutants, and then what? Storage tanks and or various recharge structures. This is very important. See, you are performing all these stages, and at the end, if you don't have a storage tank, then what is the use? All your work, all your effort is wasted. Next is what you see. Next, we are coming to the various advantages. Advantages of implementing rainwater harvesting. What are they? Rainwater harvesting systems are cost effective and provide high quality water. Okay. The all round expenditures used in setting up harvesting methods are much cheaper compared to other purifying or pumping means. Fine. The cost of recharge due to subsurface reservoir is also lower than the surface reservoir. See, why is this line so important? If you are having a surface reservoirs, you will have to construct it. Surface reservoirs are, suppose this is the surface of, I'll use a different color. Suppose this is the surface of the ground. hmm, You will have to build a reservoir here. You will have to build it artificially. A tank has to be built here. That is costly. But instead, if you are digging a tank in the ground like this, underground reservoirs, these are much more cheaper. You just need to dig it. That's all. You don't need to build another structure for it. So underground recharge system or underground reservoir zones are pocket friendly also. Storing water underground is environment friendly and of great importance. It minimizes the impacts of flooding by funneling the off water into large tanks for recycling and helps reduce the load placed upon drainage system. If there is underground storing facilities or underground storing tanks, what will happen if there is a lot of flood or a lot of heavy downpour, if there is a lot of rain, then that water will not cause environmental hazards or environmental damage. It will be channelized underground and will be stored for future use. No land is wasted for storage purpose and no population displacement is implicated. Therefore, groundwater is not directly exposed to evaporation and pollution. This is very, very important. Groundwater is so important to us and see how beneficial it is. It is not directly exposed to evaporation since it is underground. How will it evaporate so fast? So it is not exposed to evaporation. So you should keep in mind neither it is getting exposed to evaporation nor it is exposed to pollution. It reduces soil erosion and flood hazards by collecting rainwater and reducing the flow of storm water to prevent urban flooding. Most buildings, see, if you just now I was telling you, it saves you from a lot of hazards. Fine. Most buildings that utilizes rainwater harvesting systems have a built-in catchment area on top of the roof, which has a capacity of collecting large volumes of water in case of rainstorm. Fine. Next, you see, harvesting rainwater allows the collection of large amounts of water and mitigates the effect of drought. Mitigates means to it minimizes or lessens the it lessens the effects of drought. Most rooftops provide necessary platforms. They provide necessary platform for collecting water. Rainwater is mostly free from harmful chemicals, which makes it suitable for irrigation purposes. Fine. Another vital benefit is that it increases the productivity of aquifer resulting in the rise of groundwater levels and reduces the need for potable water. Okay, it is extremely essential, particularly in areas with low water levels, where there are certain areas on earth where there is a lot of scarcity of water. That in that particular area or in those areas, these practices should be given a lot of importance and they should be promoted. Mm. Now, see the techniques of rainwater harvesting. This can come for a short note. So, I have written it out little elaborately here. You need not write everything, but you will make a see for each topic. I have written a one paragraph. You are required to make it short and ready for your exam. If you can remember everything, very good, well and good. But for a 5 mark short note, you need not write everything. Please be little cautious about what you are writing. For 8 mark answers, it is very important. Please look into it carefully. See, techniques of rainwater harvesting. First is surface runoff harvesting. What happens here? In this method, rainwater flows away as surface runoffs and can be stored for future use. Fine. Surface water can be stored by diverting the flow of small creeks and streams into reservoirs, correct? On the surface or ground, on the surface or underground. See, there are various small flowing streams or creeks. Those can be channelized into the reservoirs which are meant for storing. Those reservoirs can be on the ground as well as under the ground. It can provide water for farming, for cattle, and for general domestic use. That water can readily be used for various activities like urban uses, then field uses like for cattle, for bathing the cattle, then for watering the fields. So for all these purposes, these water can be readily used. Surface runoff harvesting is more suitable in urban areas. Rooftop rainwater or storm water runoff can be harvested through recharge pit and trenches by construction of tube well and recharge well. Next is what? Groundwater recharge. What happens here? Groundwater recharge is a hydrologic process where water moves downward from surface water to underground. The water that comes and accumulates on the surface gradually seeps in or moves into the ground. It goes underground. Okay. Recharge is the primary method through which water enters an aquifer that serves as a distribution system. The surplus rainwater can then be used to recharge groundwater aquifer through artificial recharge techniques. Fine. Rainwater in rural areas can be harvested through these points you must remember. Rainwater in rural areas. See, urban life is not everything. We are staying in cities doesn't mean there is no life in the villages, in the rural areas. They work more than what we do. They work more for sustenance of life. Correct? What do? They construct a gully plug, contour bund, dugwell recharge, percolation tank, check dam or cement plug or nala bund, and recharge shaft. These are certain very important things that has to be constructed for groundwater recharge. Fine. Next, you see, although rainwater harvesting measure is deemed to be a desirable concept since the last few years, it is rarely being implemented in rural India. This is very sad. People don't get to understand its severity, its importance. People really don't understand how important it is to store water, especially in villages of our country, in rural India. It is deemed to be a desirable concept. True, we are all planning to implement it, but it is becoming difficult to implement it in villages. People don't understand the gravity of the situation. Different regions of the country practiced a variety of rainwater harvesting and artificial recharge methods. Some ancient rainwater harvesting methods followed in India, which includes Madakas, ahar pines, sugar, turangas, tankas, all these. Hmm? I've I've just now seen someone writing on the slide. Please don't do that. Why are you putting marks on the slide? You need not do that. You are just supposed to listen to the lecture carefully. If you have any questions to ask that. Why are you putting marks on the slide? Don't write anything. See, these are certain regions where rainwater harvesting is very nicely practiced. One is Brahmaputra Valley. Okay. Next is Indo-Gangetic Plain and Thar Desert in Rajasthan. These are some of the places where which experience sometimes they experience very less rainfall. Though Ganga Brahmaputra regions or these Brahmaputra uh, valley in Assam, they get a lot of rainfall, but yet it is very good to know that they are being able to store a lot of water. Same applied to Indo-Gangetic plains. Ganga is the principal river of our country. It gives us a lot of water, but then also a lot of harvesting methods are implemented here. And this last is the Thar Desert region. This Thar Desert region is known for its water scarcity. Tanks, kunds, all these are built in order to save water in these regions. Fine. Okay. Now, coming to our next topic of discussion today, which is acid rain. Now, this part also is an important part of your syllabus apart from these water management and rainwater harvesting or water conservation, all these. These topics like acid rain, global warming, and ozone layer depletion are also very important topic for your exams. From your exam point of view also, sorry, these topics are extremely important. Okay, I hope you have heard of these words before. What is acid rain? What is global warming? All these terms are not new to you, right? Okay, so let's start with acid rain. Acid rain is something like when we get an acidic downpour, we call it acid rain. Okay, so what is rainwater? Any form of downpour whose pH is less than 7 is considered to be an acidic downpour. Look at this picture very nicely. What happens here? See, this picture is this picture is showing you a very good account, a very detailed account rather. See, this is showing you a detailed account of what is happening in acid rain. See, you get acidic downpour, rain that is having acid in it. That is that is causing plant death. Plant needs fresh water. They can't manage with acidic water. These acidic water then becomes a source of poison to these water animals. The surface runoffs are also acidic. They get into the water and they kill the aquatic life here. It harms aquatic life. Fine. After it is doing this part is not shown in the picture. When we are consuming these toxic fish or other aquatic animals, the toxin is getting biomagnified in our bodies. Fine. From here, evaporation is occurring. This evaporation is causing photooxidation. The photooxidation is resulting into pollutants that mix with water and oxygen and other chemicals, which again gives acid formation, which again results into acid formation. And finally, you get acid rain that is mixed with dust particles and other gases. And this is causing extreme damage to our environment. This is causing extreme damage to our environment in the sense it is killing plants, it is killing animals, it is causing a lot of harm to ourselves, like human beings and other terrestrial animals. It is causing snow melt. And finally, last point, who is causing all these? We. See the chimney exhaust, automobile exhaust, they give rise to nitrous substances, sulfurous substances, gases like sulfur dioxide. All these, they are released and they go up to the atmosphere to create this acid rain. Hmm. So, what is acid rain? Acid rain is any form of precipitation, that is downpour, that contains high level of nitric and sulfuric acids. It can also occur in the form of snow, fog, and tiny bits of dry material that settle to earth. Normal rain is slightly acidic. That's fine. It's slightly acidic with a pH of 5.6, while acidic rain generally has a pH of 4.2 to 4.4. This is very important point to be noted. Acid rain is 4.2 to 4.4, whereas normal rain is also slightly acidic, which is 5.6. Next, you see acid precipitation can be caused by natural volcanoes and man-made activities. Why man-made activities? Because those activities will emit toxic gases. Fine. Such as from cars, and that is cars means automobile exhaust, right? From cars is nothing but automobile exhaust, right? And in generation of electricity. The precursors or chemical forerunners, the precursors or chemical forerunners of acid rain formation result from both natural sources, such as volcanoes and decaying vegetation, and man-made sources, right? Primarily emissions of sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides resulting from fossil fuel combustion The burning of fossil fuels like coal and petroleum, very, very important point to be noted. The burning of fossil fuels, that is coal and oil, by power production companies and industries, release sulfur into air that combines with oxygen to form sulfur dioxide. Very, very important line. Please note this. The burning of fossil fuels create this menace. Exhaust from car cause the formation of nitrogen oxides in air. From the gases, airborne sulfuric acid and acid can be formed and be dissolved in water vapor in the air. Now, when it is reacting with water, it is forming these extremely strong acids. These extremely strong acids are formed. Correct. Now, when these acids are formed, these acids are there in the atmosphere that comes down as acid rain. Hmm. Although acid rain gases may originate in urban areas, they are often carried for hundreds of miles in the atmosphere by winds into rural areas. See, for our activities, the rural people are also getting affected. Our urban life is producing these emissions. These toxic emissions are produced from our activities, but they are unfortunately carried miles away to different other regions where people get these and suffer without any mistake from their side. Hmm. That is why forests and lakes in the countryside can be harmed by acid rain that originates in cities. See, these are the various effects of acid rain. It affects the water bodies, monuments, that is stone structures, humans and animals, forests and mountains. If we discuss each of these, see in water bodies, what will happen? Aquatic life gets affected. It kills aquatic plants as well as aquatic plants and aquatic animals. Both of them get affected, they die. Monuments like heritage monuments, marble structures, hmm, color changes happen. I'll show you that picture soon. In humans and animals, human beings are intelligent enough, they don't drink rainwater. So, from consumption point of view, men are okay, human beings are fine, but animals, they don't understand. You must have often seen dogs licking water from the from roadside puddles. That water has come from where? Rain. The doggy doesn't know that water is toxic, so it consumes that. In human beings, it may cause skin problems, skin irritations, and other skin diseases as well. It can cause eye infection if it goes into your eyes. It can cause stomach problems if accidentally you consume it. So there is a lot of hazard. There are plenty of hazards for man as well. Coming to forests and mountains, trees are dying. Trees don't take acidic water, they need sweet water or fresh water. For mountains, snow caps melt because of acidic reactions on them. Acidic rain or acid mixed rainwater is extremely harmful for forest life as well as mountain ecosystem. See, the fossil fuel that humans burn for energy can come back to haunt us as acid rain. We are burning fossil fuels like coal, petroleum, all these, fossil fuels are coal, petroleum, all these things, right? We are burning these for our own selfish needs. That is actually coming back to haunt us. Why haunt us? because it is creating a lot of trouble to us in the form of acid rain. The biggest sources are coal burning power plants, factories, and automobiles. Remember this, the biggest sources are coal burning power plants, factories, and automobiles. Right? See the effect of acid rain. There is no leaves. The leaves get burnt out, they die. There is no leaves in these trees. Look at Taj Mahal. It used to be so radiant white. Now look at its color, how it is changing because of acid rain. Right? So these are some of the detrimental effects of acid rain that has to be taken care of. Without this knowledge, we cannot really take care of ourselves and prevent acid rain formation. Right? Now, our next topic of discussion is ozone depletion. These are short topics but extremely important topics. Ozone layer is a protective layer of ozone on the surface of the earth. You all know that, right? Now that layer is getting depleted day by day because of our great activities. Hmm. See, for the last, say, 450 million years, the Earth has had a natural sunscreen, right? Ozone layer, ozone layer is a natural sunscreen. It is a natural sunscreen in the stratosphere. Where is it found? In which layer of the atmosphere? In stratosphere. In this layer of the atmosphere, you find this ozone layer. This ozone layer is a layer that filters out harmful ultraviolet radiation of the sun. It filters, what does it do? It filters you ultraviolet radiations of the sun. Radiations, that is UVA and UVB. These radiations from the sun, and thus it protects various life forms on Earth. Fine. What is ozone? The chemistry of ozone is what? Ozone is the form of oxygen. The molecule of oxygen contains two atoms. Fine. See, now we'll just see once. I'll write it out. See, how is it formed? Ozone is nothing but, see, is a form of oxygen. Right? The molecule of oxygen contains two atoms, whereas that of ozone contains three atoms. Hmm. Right? In stratosphere, ozone is continuously being created by the absorption of short wavelength UV radiation. Fine. What happens here, you see? This is the reaction. Hmm. Fine. Now, the atomic oxygen rapidly reacts with the molecular oxygen to form ozone. Now, this atomic form of oxygen, what does it do? It will quickly react with molecular oxygen. Fine. To form ozone. Now, what is this M? You might think M is a third body which is necessary to carry away the energy released in the reaction. This reaction releases a lot of energy. Now, this M is a third body that carries away the energy that is released in the reaction. Okay. So what happens? The ozone thus formed distributes itself in the stratosphere, and absorbs harmful ultraviolet radiation. Hmm. And this continuously, and this is happening continuously. This is continuously being converted back to molecular oxygen. Fine. This is reversible. This is very much reversible. It is This reaction is also happening. Hmm. The absorption of UV radiation, it results in the heating of the stratosphere. Fine. Now, then what's the net result? The net result of this reaction is an equilibrium concentration of ozone. This is the result. Fine. Now, ozone concentration is about 24 kilometers of the stratosphere. Remember this or note it down. Ozone concentration, I'm writing it. Ozone concentration is about 24 kilometer of the of the stratosphere that is 16 kilometer to 40 kilometers away from Earth is about 10 ppm. Right now, this equilibrium is disturbed by reactive atoms of chlorine. This equilibrium, when disturbed, that is causing us harm. This equilibrium is disturbed by reactive atoms of what? Reactive atoms of chlorine, bromine, okay, all these. And they destroy ozone molecules and they result in the thinning of the ozone layer. And finally, what happens? It forms ozone holes in the layer. And when holes are formed, that hole can that hole easily allow the penetration of those harmful UV radiation on the surface of the earth. Now look at this. The ozone layer is basically naturally occurring gas in the region of stratosphere where ozone particles are accumulated. Fine. Now, ozone layer is also naturally broken down but there is a balance between its formation and natural depletion. This is what I was just now telling, that there is a natural equilibrium. This equilibrium is achieved. As a result, the total amount of ozone remains constant. But ozone layer thickness varies with altitude and seasonal change. Fine. Most of ozone, see, read this part also. Ozone concentration is highest between 19 to 23 kilometers. Most of ozone is formed at equator where there is maximum sunshine, but with winds it travels at high altitude and get accumulated in the stratosphere. Okay. Now this diagrammatic representation shows what we have just now discussed. Fine. These are the two types of UV radiations from the sun, UVA and UVB. They reach the surface of the earth through ozone. This ozone layer is so important. See, this is the troposphere. You can see these arrows. This is stratosphere and this is troposphere. Like troposphere is 0 to 10 kilometers, whereas stratosphere is 10 to 50 kilometers. The stratosphere has this ozone layer shield that acts as a natural sunscreen that prevents UV rays to travel to the earth. Now, if there is hole here, what will happen? These UV radiation will easily pass down to earth. See here, chlorofluorocarbon molecules, CFCs. They are the most important devil that is causing holes in the ozone layer, that is depleting the ozone layer. See, the ozone depleting chemicals are CFCs, HCFCs, halones, methyl bromide, all these. Fine. These molecules get depleted, they get inactivated. Look at this. The ultraviolet rays split the chlorine atoms away from the CFC, which is the chlorofluorocarbon molecule. The chlorine atom breaks up an ozone molecule, making a hole in the ozone layer. VV important part. Very, very important. The chlorine atom breaks up an ozone molecule, making a hole. It makes a hole in the ozone layer. The molecules left behind are chlorine monoxide and oxygen, which is so harmful. Right now, what is ozone hole? This can again come for a 2-mark question. Ozone hole is created in the region where ozone layer has been depleted. The term ozone hole is applied when the depletion level is below 200 Dobson unit, that is DU. Ozone holes are first discovered in Antarctica in 1970. Few years ago, ozone holes are discovered in Arctic regions. Since 2000, rate of ozone depletion is increasing at what rate? See, 0.5% per year. Due to depletion of ozone, UV rays are penetrating in troposphere and leading to more ozone formation in troposphere, which is causing injurious effects on our health as ozone is toxic to our bodies. When ozone is away from us in the stratosphere, it is very good. But when ozone is accumulating in the troposphere, it is coming more near to us. It is very, very toxic to us as well. This is what we had just discussed. There are two regions in which ozone layer has depleted. Very important. Which are the two regions where it has already got depleted? In the mid latitudes, for example, over Australia, the ozone layer is thinned. This has led to increase in UV radiation reaching the earth. It is estimated that about 5 to 9% thickness of ozone layer has decreased, increasing the risk of human over exposure to UV radiation owing to outdoor lifestyle. Right? In atmospheric regions of Antarctica, the ozone layer is significantly thinner, especially in spring season. This has led to formation of what is called ozone hole. Clear? Now today's last topic and the smallest topic. By seeing this, you can understand that there is something to do with the heating up of the earth. This is our next topic is global warming. Since industrial revolution, the temperature of the earth is increasing every now and then. And of course, our contributions are definitely there. We cannot overlook that. Since industrial revolution, global annual temperature has increased in total by a little more than 1 degree Celsius or about 2 degrees Fahrenheit. Fine. Earth is becoming hotter day by day. Earth is warming up. The humans are at least partially to blame. Obviously, we are to be blamed for this. The causes, effects, and complexities of global warming are important to understand so that we can fight for the health of our planet. Right? Look at this picture. It looks bright, looks nice, but there is a lot to think about it. What happens here? See, global warming mainly occurs due to greenhouse effect. What happens in greenhouse effect? In simplest language, I'll explain you. This is the sun, right? Sun emits radiation in shorter waves. These are visible. This is the surface of the earth. Now, when Earth is reflecting it back, they reflect it in longer waves. This long wavelength gets trapped in the greenhouse gases, that is CO2, and all other greenhouse gases are there, the chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs, water vapor, methane, nitrous oxide, all these are there. These are greenhouse components, greenhouse gases. They trap these long heats and doesn't allow the heat to radiate into the space. What will happen? The heat gets trapped and they get re-emitted. More and more heat remains trapped in the earth, thus increasing the temperature of the earth. What happens here, you see? The greenhouse effect is when the sun's rays penetrate the atmosphere, but when that heat is reflected off the surface, cannot escape back into the space. Gases produced by burning of fossil fuels prevent heat from leaving the atmosphere. Fine. These greenhouse gases are carbon dioxide, chlorofluorocarbons, water vapor, methane, and nitrous oxide. All right. The excess heat in the atmosphere has caused the average global temperature to rise over time, otherwise known as global warming. All around the globe, this is happening. That is why we are calling it global warming. Look at this. Same condition which we have just talked about. Hmm. The sun rays are reaching the surface of the earth. Very nice, no harm in that. But the re-emitted rays, this is the layer of gas which earth has around it, the greenhouse gases. The re-emitted rays are not getting out, not going out into the space. It is all getting trapped and thus increasing the heat content on the earth. See, some sunlight that hits the earth is reflected. Obviously, some are reflected back, fine. But what comes out, what what reaches the earth, majority, like some part of it get absorbed. Now, when time comes for re-radiation, that is not going out. It is getting trapped in greenhouse gases. This part is your greenhouse gas. See, CO2 and other gases in the atmosphere trap heat, keeping the earth warm. Very important. See, global warming has presented another issue called climate change. Sometimes these phrases are used interchangeably, however, they are different. Climate change refers to changes in weather patterns and growing seasons around the world. It also see nowadays you have seen that there is a lot of climatic changes which is very much visible also. People in our city don't have to go out of the city. People in Bangalore is constantly complaining that Bangalore was never too hot, never so hot before. If you ask your grandparents or your parents when they were young, Bangalore had never been so warm and so hot. It was never so hot before. But now look at the situation. It is so very hot, so very irritating, so very damaging, right? It also refers to sea level rise caused by the expansion of warmer seas and melting of ice sheets and glaciers. In the polar region, also, the polar region is not exempted from this. The ice caps are melting, the ice sheets are melting, and as a result, what is happening? The sea level is increasing day by day. Global warming causes climate change, which poses a serious threat to life on Earth in the forms of widespread flooding and extreme weather. Right? Scientists continue to study global warming and its impact on Earth. This is a continuous topic of study. Now we are coming to its effects, the concluding part of our lecture. See the effects. Uh, Extreme heat has caused so much of land soil cracking, so much of drought. See, the ice caps are melting. Look, think of these poor animals. How will they manage over there? How will they survive? We are not concerned whatsoever. So these are the various effects of global warming. There is a lot more to it. You can write a whole thesis on this topic. Don't go into much detail that's not required for you. Whatever I have taught here, please pay attention to it, study it nicely for your exam. Okay, so thank you so much for joining the class. Hope you have enjoyed the lesson. So, 1 second. Please don't move out. Stay here for the attendance.